You are listening to a Freedom Student Ministry podcast.
The next few weeks, we're going to be going over a series called Hot Topics. We do this every we try to do it once a year. We try to go over the topics that are being talked about in culture, on TV, in person, social media. And since you're in small groups, we are going to have like some little discussions here and there where you can talk to your small group people about what we're talking about. But I'm going to pray first, and I'm going to ask you guys to just stand for just a moment. And I'm going to ask you to just do what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put my hands out like this. And it's just a posture. It's just a position of openness to God and surrender to God. And so then as we pray, it's just like, okay, God, I'm here. I'm ready to listen. Pour out what you want to tell me into my hands. I'm ready to take it. So, God, thank you for today. God, thank you for this family. Thank you for the yummy food and the good conversation around the table. And God, I pray that you would show us more about who you are tonight as we look at your word. God, I pray you'd soften every heart in this room, including my own, to hear from the Holy Spirit what you want to share with me and what you want to share with each of us. God, I love you, and I thank you so much that you love me and that you have the same love that you have for me, for everybody in this room. And I just pray you'd show us what that looks like. Amen.
Amen.
Have a seat. So, the first hot topic we're going to talk about tonight is bullying. And this one, we did some Instagram polls or whatever to see what you guys wanted to talk about. And we also, I think we had you write down some things. I can't remember. But a lot of people wanted to have a message about bullying or maybe about what God thinks about bullying. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So what I want you to do is in your groups, you have a minute or less to work up a definition of bullying. What does that mean? Okay? So go.
A repeated act is cruelty.
I understand.
No. Okay, not cruelty. Yeah. But it's repeated. It can't just happen. Or else it's not real. Yeah, repeated acts of cruelty, physical, psychological, etc.
I know this group has a definition. So let's listen to Bex first and we'll come around to each of your groups. Go ahead, Bex.
Our group said a repeated act of cruelty, including cyber, physical, and psychological.
Okay, a repeated act of cruelty. Okay.
Ours was intentionally being mean, possibly with the intention of trying to get noticed.
Trying to get noticed. Okay. Tim?
Mental and physical abuse.
Okay. Yeah. What did Jen's group say?
Okay, so we're saying it's an adjective as well, so it could be, I'm here, guys. It's making you feel less than you are. Bullying is making you feel less than you are, ostracizing you. It could be physical, mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say, Lace? Yeah. That's a cause of or an effect of it, right? Yeah. Yeah, all those are right on. And then I looked up some online too. I looked up what a bully is. And a bully is someone who seeks to harm, intimidate, or coerce someone, and that someone is perceived as vulnerable, as an easy target. Bullying is the use of force, threat, or coercion, like making someone do something, to abuse, intimidate, or aggressively dominate others. So try to be make yourself above them or better than them or feel that way. When I was in 6th grade, I was a counselor in training at Pleasant Valley Christian Camp, where we just were. That meant that I wasn't officially a counselor yet. I was being trained. And we were at a camp for 3rd through 6th graders. And it was really fun. I loved doing that. I did it for years, and it was a great time. This particular year, my cousin was there as a camper, and he was a little bit younger than me, but we were friendly. We got along. He's still my friend. so I'd see him around the camp at the different things we were doing, and we'd hang out when we could, and it was good to see him. One time, he and I were hanging out, and there was this kid that was with us, probably around my cousin's age, and my cousin and I kind of started to pick on him because he was kind of shy, kind of quiet, vulnerable, right? An easy target. And I don't know why we did this, but we told him, kiss his cheek. We told this kid to kiss my cousin's cheek, and he did. And we laughed. And I felt pretty bad after that, as you can imagine. And I ended up getting in trouble from the lady who was leading the camp once she heard about it. And I had to apologize to the kid. And my cousin, we totally bullied that kid. I heard you say over here that it had to be a repeated event. That was bullying him. We were taking advantage of a vulnerable kid and making him do something that he didn't want to do. And it probably made him feel pretty badly about it. I don't remember his name. I honestly don't really remember what he looks like. And if I saw him today as an adult, I wouldn't know it was that kid. You know what I'm saying? But does that make it okay, what I did?
Nope.
No. Does that make it any less of a bullying act because I'll never see him again? No. Does me apologizing kind of magically erase the event ever happening from his brain or from mine? No, I still remember it, right? Some of it is still very vivid in my mind. It doesn't just smooth it over and cause it to go away. That kid was probably really traumatized, and he probably thought about it after the fact and didn't like that memory, and maybe it still comes up in his brain and he doesn't like that memory, or hopefully he's blocked it out. But not proud of that moment, but I was a bully in that moment. I want to take a quiz that's going to be on the screen, and it's a bully quiz. And I want you to keep track of the amount of times that you answer a question yes. You don't have to tell anyone in this room what you answered yes to or how many yeses you answered. This is information for you and you alone. But the quiz is, are you a bully? And I know it's going to be kind of small up there, but I'll read them out. First one says, have you ever picked on people who are smaller than you? This isn't something to gloat about. This isn't something to brag about. So if you've picked on someone that's smaller than you, then this would be a 1 for you. Have you ever teased someone even if they asked you to stop? When you tease someone, do you like to see them get upset? Information for you and you alone. This isn't anything that we're bragging about. Do you think it's funny when people make mistakes?
What kind of mistakes? Like just like silly mistakes that are supposed to be laughed at, or like
No.
serious
Like mistakes that they didn't mean to make. If they're laughing and they're honestly okay about it, I wouldn't say that that's a bullying thing. Have you ever taken or destroyed someone's belongings? Do you want other kids to think you are the toughest kid in school? Have you ever gotten angry at someone and stayed angry for a long time? And maybe it affected your relationship with them? Have you ever told anyone they can't be your friend if they don't do what you say? Have you ever made fun of someone because of the way they looked? Like their clothes, their hair, or their body? Have you ever been mean to someone or hurt you, even if they apologized? When you play sports or games, do you always have to be the winner? And that doesn't mean that you're competitive. That means like you're the kid who, if you don't win the game, you throw the board and you get all mad and you stomp off and you're really upset about it. Or you cheat so that you win. Have you ever called a classmate stupid if they failed an assignment or test? So add up your points, meaning how many yeses you had, and most of us should have at least 1 point on there. Because the point is, we've all done something probably at some point that has bullied someone, has made them feel less than, has made us feel above them, has been maybe out of our insecurity about ourselves. We try to put somebody down so that we feel better about ourselves and they don't feel so good about themselves. If you have even one point, which you probably do, you've shown bully behavior. And like I explained in my situation, I've shown bully behavior. So in your small, how do you respond to our quiz now that you know you've probably shown bully behavior at some point in your life? Go. So that's not what we're talking about. I think we just talk about how it makes you feel to know that you've shown bully behavior. So maybe the name of the quiz wasn't great, but yeah. If you're ready to move on to the next question, it's up on the screen. What do you notice about bullying in your school? I'm going to put the third question up too, if you're ready for it. When have you been bullied and how has it affected you? I want to go ahead and do a bullying scenario, and I want you to put yourself in this scenario and kind of experience what's going on. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm going to talk through it. I'm going to ask you some questions in the middle of it, but these are questions for you to answer in your head and in your heart, not out loud. Okay? So go ahead and close your eyes. This will only take a couple minutes. So with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine, with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that your family, you and your family have just moved, and it's your very first day of school at a new school. And you get on the bus, and you don't know anyone. Go ahead and close your eyes, guys. You're imagining this situation. You get on the bus, you don't know anyone. So you find an empty seat and sit down. And the first person to say anything to you is a student sitting behind you. And they recognize right away that you're new on the bus because it's February and school's been going on for 6 months. This person sitting behind you says, "Hey everybody, fresh meat!" And everyone laughs at what they say and at you. So what are you feeling right now? Answer in your head and in your heart how you're feeling. Paul, Kaylee, close your eyes, please. So then you get off the bus and you struggle to find your first class. And to your dismay and disappointment, when you go into your first class, the student who called you fresh meat is already there. You guys have the same class. And you sit down far away from them, hoping not to be noticed and hoping just to be some distance away. But they're still calling you names to their friends that they're sitting around, and they're looking at you and kind of laughing. You overhear things like stupid and ugly being said. So what are you feeling right now? Answer in your head and in your heart. So this goes on for the next couple of weeks, and you really begin to dislike school, and you hate going. You don't like to go to sleep because that means that you have to wake up and go to school the next day. And you start to feel down about yourself and just maybe think that you are stupid, you are ugly. One day, you're sitting in class with a group of students that are making fun of you, and another student comes over and sits next to you. The student looks back at that group of other students making fun of you and just says, "Stop it." And they do. So for the next few weeks, next year, to graduation, you're not bullied anymore by that group of students. How did you feel when that student sat next to you and said, "Stop"? You can answer that in your heart and in your head. How did you feel when they stood up for you? All right, you can open your eyes. Does anybody have anything they want to share about how they felt during that? It's okay if you don't, but yeah, corpse.
So, first of all, it wouldn't turn into 2 weeks. I would be suspended because if someone's sitting in class and insulting me and laughing to their friends, I'm not going to sit there and take it. I'm probably going to get very angry about it and have to roll.
Okay.
I'm not going
What's
to
your next
take
thing?
that from anyone that I've just met. Second of all, if someone said it was new, I mean, they're not wrong, so I don't really see much wrong with that. I mean, it was probably a joke, so why not? If everyone's laughing, why not laugh with them?
Okay.
It doesn't really affect me because I think it's funny.
I like that. If you are a person that is confident, you have thick skin, then you can do that. There's other people that aren't necessarily like that, Corbs, that would have a harder time. But I like that you would just laugh it off. That's cool. To your first thing, though, I know, and you know this too, that a really great way to handle things like that is to get an advocate on your side, a teacher or something, so that you don't do something that gets you in trouble, but you get those people to get in trouble through a teacher rather than you hurting them or hurting them back with your words, because then you're just bullying the bullies, and that never works. It's just kind of a frustrating, tough situation.
Well, telling the teacher is kind of like a sign of weakness, like you've given up, and so I think that would make you more vulnerable for.
Well, then what do you do if you can't tell the teacher?
Find humor, make fun of yourself. It's not as fun if you like make fun of
Yeah,
yourself.
get this.
Get thick skin? Corbs?
Like, ignore them or just put on your headphones and turn them up.
Chris-
If
oh,
they
sorry.
If they can't tell that they're getting to you, they'll just get bored.
If a group of kids were laughing at me when I was in class, I would go right up to them and just say, "Why are you laughing at me? You don't even know me. So why are you doing that? Unless you know me, that's not okay because number one, you don't know me and I don't know you."
Okay. Trey?
I also kind of want to say, like, this is an oversimplification of bullying.
What I
Like,
just said?
Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
all from like a movie script. That is
That was just from my head.
yeah, I'm sorry, but bullying's not that easy.
Easy to get rid of?
No, I'm just saying easy overall. Like, that wouldn't actually bother me. I was bullied in elementary school, and that is not how it went even as little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think this could happen. I think there's lots of different scenarios that could happen. Yeah. Corbs?
I feel like a better thing to do instead of like physically getting in a fight with them is like just walking up to them while they're laughing and being like, "What's going on? What about me do you find humorous?
Bro, I love your
What
approach.
exactly is your mindset? And why do you think that this is an appropriate location for this or anywhere?
It's calm now.
Do you
So-
feel like this makes you somehow better than me? Because if anything, it just shows how heavy you are.
Krista?
I would just look over to the group and just think of like with one of the girls thinking like, why is she over there when she must have gotten bullied? So if she's picking on others, she's probably trying to get rid of whatever bully she had.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. Now, I want to hear from some other people too. Maybe I'm the only one in the room that ever got bullied and couldn't stand up for myself. So then if you felt that way, like what have you done that works? If you haven't been able to stand up for yourself, I want to hear from some other people first. If you feel comfortable sharing
I don't know if this is really considered bullying, but this kid in like second grade used to do something to me, and I really hated it. And I was really, really shy. I am still pretty shy, but like I was really shy. Like I didn't talk to anybody. I had like no friends. I just kind of kept to myself. And this one kid would do something to me every time we went out to recess, and it was the stupidest thing. And I didn't know how to stand up for myself, and so I think I ended up asking a teacher, and it wasn't really a sign of weakness for me because at that point it was like so annoying and so just like, are you serious? Like, why are you still doing it? It was like, it's finally over, and it didn't even like, he never did it again. So if it stops it, then why think of it as a sign of weakness, especially in the younger grades. Now, as I got older, I've gotten more thick-skinned, if you want to call it that, where I'm confident in myself and I know my identity, and if anyone has anything mean to say about me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me feel less than anyone else. But I know there are people out there, and I've seen it in my school, that are not, they feel less than, and it's really gross to me to see people that are just willing to, give out that hate and give out those bad vibes or whatever you want to say. So now, like, even in my kind of group of friends, I guess you would call them at school, whenever they're talking bad about someone, and we were talking about this in our group, but like talking bad behind someone's back is pretty much indirect bullying. You're not saying it to their face or physically hurting them, but you're just spreading more rumors or creating more gossip, and it's not okay. So what I do if my friends are doing that is I either tell them to stop, and if they don't stop, I just walk away. And when I walk away, they know that there's something wrong going on, because I don't usually just walk away from a situation that I'm in. And so that's one way I think all of us could do something is, if they're not gonna like stop doing it, walk away, because they'll notice when you're gone and wonder why, and they'll probably ask you because it's happened before.
Trey?
How that's if you walk away but you're still hanging out with them.
But it's not.
Like if I was making a joke to you, and then you just said like a bad like comment about my joke, like say like, or made a bad joke off of it, like a dad joke, and I just walked away.
But it's not about jokes. It's harming someone else.
That's even worse, though. Is my point.
Yeah.
If someone's making fun of someone else, you walk away, but then you still are friends with them, and you don't just have an actual for real talk with them. That's not going to solve the issue. You can either one, just not hang out with them anymore, and that might not be your best option. It's up to you. Or you can actually have a talk with them, because that's either way. Like walking away is not going to solve anything. That's just if it's not going to solve the joke thing, it's not going to solve something as serious as bullying. That's not the point.
Well, right. And I meant like when I meant walk away, I'm not like walking away like I'm never coming back. But I'm saying at least for my group of friends, when I walk away from something that they're doing, they notice and they ask me about it, and I'm able to explain my side on why I walked away. Not saying that I'm not going to talk to them about it later.
Yeah.
And I just didn't add it up.
with their friends. Yeah. Did you have something to say about bullying?
Yes. When you said that asking a teacher isn't a sign of weakness, well, in second grade it probably isn't, because for a second grader, a teacher is a very scary person. So when you grow up and when bullying really starts to get like built up and like people actually know what that is, then I don't think the teacher will really affect them.
Even with harassment, there's some things that people can do online that the cops can't do anything about, like doxing and a bunch of other stuff. They have no laws on the internet, so internet's like free game.
Let's just do one more comment.
It's not too much of a comment, more of a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do if, like, someone's bullied you, and then you react to it, but they still did something wrong, and it's clear they did, but then the authority figure that you were brought to agrees with them and then punishes you, but not them, and then acts like they're best thing ever and that you're the worst kid in the school.
Do any other adults have answers for something like that? I mean, that isn't a situation that I witnessed, so that's hard for me to
Go to another authority.
say. But
Find another authority figure to go to bring it to.
I mean, that wouldn't really work in this situation because the authority figure was the principal.
Tell other people,
Your parents.
get enough people to get mad about it, there's going to be an issue.
I think I like what Erica pointed out, having an advocate. So just sharing what's going on with someone you trust, a counselor, a teacher, somebody who's in your purview, maybe you have a class with them, you trust them. And just say, just let them know what's going on and say, hey, could you just keep eyes on it? Because then if it goes to the higher, to the principal, if it goes to the Board of Education or whatever, however high it goes, this person can be your advocate, great word, and say, yeah, this is going on, this is happening. Even with the authorities, you know, however, told them to be pretty intense.
You guys have counselors to go to, right, too?
the U Corps?
Well, yeah, I mean, this was when I went to middle school.
Oh, okay. So it's
Counselors didn't like me either.
yeah. So it's an issue that has passed like a couple years, or yeah, and you're still getting bullied.
I mean, not really.
Okay. Well, then you're okay now. But I understand that like it was an injustice, and sometimes that kind of stuff happens. Unfortunately, it sucks.
It happened
But
a lot, but
if it-
recently he got expelled.
Okay. If it happens again, and you get Corbin, and something unjust happens to you in that way, do find another adult that you know you can trust that can help you in the situation. You know, even if it went to the highest person, to the principal, find an adult you can trust, a teacher or a teacher's aide or someone in the school that can walk through the steps with you. Tell them what happened. You know, and also I'm sure you already got your mom involved, but you know, get your mom involved. Okay, that was a great discussion, you guys. Thanks for your input. Bullying has changed even since I was in high school because, like Trey said, the internet is involved. I mean, the internet was around when I was in high school, but there wasn't social media. There weren't smartphones, so it was much. I mean, you couldn't really bully on the internet. And times changed, so bullying has changed. There's still a lot that's the same, though. But yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, Trey. So, if you guys still have questions or like just unresolved thoughts about this, girls, please feel free to talk to any of us leaders. We'd love to continue to talk about it with you. But I just want to talk a little bit longer about taking care of the bullied, and also if you answered yes to even one of those questions, we're not here labeling you as a bully. We're not calling you a bully. If you continue to go out and do that behavior, then you are being a bully and you are bullying people. But we don't want you to have that label. We want you to move into the label and the identity of a follower of Jesus that is loving people well. Have you guys heard of the golden rule? What's the golden rule?
Isn't it like being able to others as you want others?
Yeah, it's the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat others the same way you want them to treat you. My mom said this a lot. And it's like, it's the golden rule. A lot of religions use it as like their standard, their moral. But it comes from a Bible verse. I don't know if you knew that, but it does. So then, in everything, treat others the same way you want them to treat you. For this is the essence of the law and the writings of the prophets. That just means like it's important. It's a part of kingdom life with Jesus. It's basically a command, a demand, also an invitation to treat other people with kindness and with love, like you deep down do want to be treated like. There's a story in the Bible that I want to talk to you guys about. It's Jesus treating someone well, even when other people are bullying this guy. His name's Blind Bartimaeus. Well, his name's Bartimaeus, but people call him Blind Bartimaeus. So Jesus and his disciples went to Jericho, and as they were leaving, they were followed by a large crowd. A blind beggar by the name of Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, was sitting beside the road. when he heard that it was Jesus from Nazareth, he shouted, "Jesus, son of David, have pity on me." Many people told the man to stop. Many people told the man to stop. I've been in the high school when people with special needs are freaking out, and people are like telling them to stop, and people are freaking out. They're bullying that kid. That kid has no control. So that's what that reminded me of. It made me sad. Many people told the man to stop, but he shouted even louder, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him over." So the disciples, called out to the blind man and said, "Don't be afraid. Come on, he's calling you." The man threw off his coat as he jumped up and ran to Jesus. And Jesus asked, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man answered, "Master, I want to see." Jesus told him, "You may go. Your eyes are healed because of your faith." And right away the man could see, and he went down the road with Jesus. So what are some things you notice in this story? True story, by the way, not just like a fiction. Yeah. They were trying to ignore him? The beggar? Yeah, they were trying to ignore him. Pretend like he didn't even exist. I mean, he couldn't see them anyway, so they could have kept walking, right? What else do you guys notice? Well, I noticed, that they were bullying him. And I also noticed that when Jesus chose to talk to him, even though others were bullying him, Bartimaeus was instantly attracted to him. Did you see that? Bartimaeus was like, he talked to me, and he just ran. He threw off his jacket, probably like to get some extra weight off, and he just booked it over to Jesus. Because Jesus exhibits love and kindness and affection and not going to make, he's safe, he's not going to make fun of people. People were attracted to him. And for us, if we believe in Jesus, Peyton, we're following him, we can go into places and we can change the atmosphere. And people will be attracted to what's inside of us, which is Jesus. And to me, that's miles above trying to put someone down so that I feel better about myself. So we got to end because we're at 8:30 because you guys are amazing discussionists. But my challenge to you guys is to choose the side of love rather than the side of yourself, rather than the side of putting yourself in a place where you feel better than other people. But choose the side of love, side of Jesus' love, and just watch how when you go places, the atmosphere changes and people are attracted to what's inside of you, and you get to share the gospel, and you get to spread love rather than fear and hate. God, I want to thank you so much for tonight, and I want to thank you for each heart that's in this room. God, and if there's any hearts in this room that are just feeling really down because maybe they're in the middle of being bullied right now and school's hard for them, God, I want to pray right now that you would send an advocate their way, whether it's a student or a teacher that can help end the bullying and can just make the situation right and healthy. And God, I pray that you would show each student here, regardless of if they're being bullied or if they're bullying, I pray you'd show them their identity, God, and that would make them just stronger and more confident and able to stand tall and know who they are and to spread love and not evil. So, God, I just pray your blessings on these students, Lord, and just show them just your amazing love for them. Pray this in your name. Amen.
You have been listening to a Freedom Student Ministry podcast.